In my last video, I mentioned how I believe dopamine detoxing is like the most important step to self-improvement and mental health improvement. And I also mentioned that I have a full course, which is also in this description on that. But that's hours long, and in this video, I'm just going to give you a 5-minute sort of summary of everything if you don't want to pay for that in-depth course, because it's just so important. I just have that course for like, if you really just want like everything I have to say, everything I know about it is there, but this is the summary. So dopamine basically is our motivation chemical. A lot of people say that it's the reward chemical, but that's not true. It's the motivation chemical in our brains. So it's what makes us do shit basically. And it's not the thing that we get, it's not the reward that we get from achievement, it's the motivation. So if we have no dopamine, we won't do anything because we're not motivated to do anything. If we have heaps of dopamine, we will absolutely do things. Now, there are certain activities that give us heaps of dopamine, and those are things like, you can probably guess, video games, porn, scrolling on social media. Those give us heaps of dopamine, so we're super motivated to start scrolling, right? Now, while we're actually scrolling, the reward from that, well, there's not really much reward. It kind of feels shit, right? Because those sort of things don't actually give us reward chemicals. What they're giving us is motivation chemicals. So they're motivating us to keep on just doing it. We feel like almost trapped and like sick, but we can't fucking stop because they're just giving us so much fucking dopamine. Now, we have natural dopamine systems in our brain, of course, because we need to be motivated to do things to survive. But these modern technologies hijack that and give us really crazy, excessive amounts of dopamine. Now, when we engage in these things, our dopamine receptors and shit, they just get ran through, and they just basically start working a lot worse, and our dopamine levels just decrease over time, and our capacity to feel dopamine, because we're just getting blasted with all this dopamine. Our sensitivity to it kind of goes down. You can kind of understand how that would make sense, right? So basically what this means is our motivation in life is just so much lower. Now, if you're a young man, things are different for women and for other type of people and this and that, but specifically for young men, so much of our happiness comes from achievement and growth, which requires motivation to achieve things. We need to be motivated to do the work, and to grow, we need to be motivated to do the work. I'll make my next video on why achievement and growth is so fundamental to our mental health. If you don't know that it is, and you're a young man, I'm telling you, I promise it is. You might not even know that, but when our dopamine is fucked up, we're not able to achieve and grow because we have no motivation to do anything. It's already hard to force yourself to do low dopamine things, right? To run, to go for runs, to eat healthy, to work out, to do your homework. Now imagine if your dopamine levels have been ran through and fucked up by modern technology, which if you're a young modern man, they have, how much harder it's going to be to do that. Now dopamine is it's also just ingrained with so much of our happiness and well-being in general. Our motivation to do things doesn't necessarily just mean productive things. It means our motivation to make friends, to have conversations, our motivation to think positive things. Motivation is so intrinsic to so many aspects of well-being, and when it's fucked up by modern technologies, and I'm telling you, this is a real proven effect that these things decrease the actual chemical levels of dopamine. So you're getting chemically fucking depressed from engaging in these modern technologies. Your whole ability to interact with life basically is just fucked up and suppressed. Now, when you dopamine detox yourself, it basically allows these levels of dopamine to rise and get back to a healthier level when you stop running your dopamine receptors through. So when you stop engaging in all this super stimulating shit, your dopamine levels can sort of heal and re-stabilize. And you can get to a point pretty quickly in a matter of weeks, but you need to stay detoxed. If you get back on these technologies, your levels will go down again, where you become motivated to basically live life again, motivated to improve yourself, motivated to speak to people you love. Your mental health improves vastly, so vastly, and you literally become like a human again. You're when you're undetoxed, you're an addicted like slave to these technologies, to these activities. No wonder you're going to be depressed, right? But when you're free from that, yeah, that is the key word. You become free. You become like sentient. You become like a real person, your real self. So yeah, that's all. I love you. Thank you.